there's a lot of talk going on about Reverend Al Sharpton, how he led a boycott, I believe, was it of Target?
I
or
think
Walmart?
It was a Target, yeah.
Yeah, and see, to me, and no disrespect to Reverend Al, but to me, that is the perfect example of dysfunctional leadership. Because what he did was he boycotted Target, and then I think he said, let's go to Costco, right? So why are you taking black people from one white corporation to another white corporation? Somebody in Al Sharpton's position, Baba David, he should say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start our own Walmart. We're going to start our own black Target. We're going to create our own mega store for ourselves. That's what leadership is supposed to do.
Yeah, our own online outlet.
You don't take them from one white person spending their money, take them to another white person. That's not leadership. That is exactly why we don't get ahead, because of stuff like that. That's not a solution. And guess what? Everybody followed Al Sharpton from the Target to the Costco. No, Al. You don't take them from one white person to another. Give them a black alternative. But that's what's wrong with our leaders, and that's what's wrong with our organizations. They don't build anything. They don't create anything. All they do is ping-pong ball us between two white alternatives, like the late, great attorney Alton Maddox said. Black leaders are nothing but deal brokers. They broker deals for the black oppressed uptown with the rich white folks. That's all they do.
Corporations came forward and said, we're going to do diversity. We're going to do this because race needs to be dealt with. And for Donald Trump to be able to cancel a commitment they made is an outright affront to the black community, brown community, LGBTQ, and gay community, and women that they committed to. So that is why we will stand with those that stand with us. Costco's immediately stepped out and said that they will not back off DEI. On last Monday, Martin Luther King holiday, I announced that for 90 days we're going to research the company that we find that has made the most affront. We will call a boycott. But today we are calling a buy-in. I have bought 100 people $25 gift certificates. We're going shopping at Costco because they've stood with us. People that stand with us, we will stand with them. People that do not stand with us, let Donald Trump stop us in 90 days from boycotting them. We will not pay to be rejected and disrespected. Thank you.
So we should have our own online outlet. Instead of Amazon, we could be amazing.
With all the money we spend, with all the money, we $2 trillion. Black Enterprise came out the other day and said that we are a $2 trillion people. I've been saying it. But Black Enterprise just said $2 trillion and you waiting on reparations. Think about that. $2 trillion and you're waiting on reparations.
We got more than reparations.
We have been psychologically conquered, but we don't want to admit it. We don't want to admit to the world that we do not believe we can overcome racism. We don't want to admit to the world that we actually do believe that Caucasians are greater than African people. That's why we do not fight. We don't even get in the ring. It's like a boxer. They say, hey, you want to fight Mike Tyson? You want to fight Floyd Mayweather? Nah, I'm just going to sit this one out. I don't even think I can hang one round. That's black America with the white power structure. We don't even think we can hang one round. And I'm looking at all these black people crying over the DEI cuts. First of all, Barack Obama is the one who rebirthed affirmative action as DEI. Because as you know, affirmative action got hit very hard with the quota requests and things like that. And affirmative action pretty much died under the late presidency of Bill Clinton, and definitely its last years was under President George W. Bush. He basically completely gutted affirmative action. It was still on paper, but it was no longer in practice. So when Barack Obama became president after Bush, he needed to revive affirmative action in order to protect immigrants, white women, and the LGBTQs. He didn't want to use affirmative action language because it was too unpopular, and that would have marginalized the conservative Democrats from his base. So what he decided to do was come up with a new word: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Replaced affirmative action, with the big difference being DEI is for immigrants, homosexuals, and white women. It's not for black people. So when I see all these black people crying about Donald Trump cutting DEI, we were only 4% of DEI hires. We were only 4% of DEI hires. DEI did not significantly benefit the American African people. And then on the flip side of that, Baba David, I'm looking at black women, this $30 billion on weave and beauty products. $30 billion on weave and beauty. There's no DEI in the Korean shops that you shop from. There's no DEI in these Chinese shops that you shop from. They don't even have black people working in there, and if they do, they're never around the counter. So help me understand how you got a problem with the federal government cutting out DEI, but you spend billions of dollars on useless garbage trying to make yourself look more like a white woman in businesses that have no DEI. Those Koreans who make that weave and that perm and that extensions and them braids and them wigs, they have no DEI policy. There's no Africans making any of that money. You don't complain about that. We have to do something about this selective morality that we have. I'm tired of it, where black people will get mad at it over here and won't say nothing about it over here. And black men, it's the same thing. Why are you crying about DEI when you got all these non-black women you're married to, having babies with, living off of you? There's no DEI in your household, because if you try to leave that white woman, she's going to take you for every penny that you got. So you're crying about Donald Trump cuts. Why don't you cry about your own behavior? Our biggest issue, Baba David, is we don't want to take accountability for the role we play in our own oppression.
That is so true. We do so much harm and damage to ourselves every day. Instead of, even you go to the nail shops, you won't see no black nailers in there. You know,
right.
I mean,
you hear no complaint.
And
no
they
demand by black people to put more black people. We want to see black people in these nail shops. We want to see black people in these beauty salons. We want y'all to sell products. Look at how the Koreans don't even like to sell. They don't give bulk discount to most black hair shops. You can't get them product. No, they don't give them no deal.
No wholesale.
So why don't you fight for that? Where's the diversity, equity, and inclusion struggle against the Asians that you're giving so much of our money to? They're talking about Donald Trump is going to cut the United States Department of Education out. Well, guess what? How did the United States Department of Education benefit black children? It didn't systemically. Did a few people get some tokens? Yes. But tokenism is not systemic progress. That's what I need people to understand. Tokenism means a couple people will get something out of this. Most will not. A couple NFL players will retire rich. Most of them won't. A couple NBA players will retire rich. Most of them won't. You cannot substitute tokenism for the general improvement in the quality of life for all African people. Listen, the U.S. Department of Education, Baba David, has only been a blessing to the departments of education because of the money. Because the Constitution does not give your child a right to learn, the feds are only involved in education to the extent that you uphold the 14th Amendment, and what you do, make sure it's equal for all kids, number one, and number two, the funding. They pay you to do what they want you to do because they really have no legal imperative to dictate to the public schools. So they give you money for special ed. They give you money for JROTC. They give you money for the Elementary and Secondary Schools Act. So can you make the argument that some black kids are going to struggle when those dollars get cut? Sure, you can make the argument, but I'm going to make a counter argument. The JROTC, I don't want black kids going to fight wars for America. I don't care about that. Special ed has been nothing but a financial hustle. Our kids go into special ed, they end up in prison. So I don't care if he cuts special ed. And let's go to the third one, the Elementary and Secondary Schools Act, the Title I money. Most of that Title I money never goes to our children. It goes into these teachers. They pay them overtime and extra time to beef up their paychecks to improve reading and math for our kids, but our children never get the reading and math help that they are entitled to. So I don't care about the cuts. Take your money and open up your own schools for your children. Stop depending on the white man to save you. That's our problem.
Peace and Pan-Africanism. We got new doors on the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy building, brothers and sisters. These are the outside doors, nice and beautiful gray. We will have to paint. We will have to paint. Please let me know what color you think we should paint these doors. They have to be painted in the next couple of months so they do not rust. Please let me know what color you think we should paint the doors. And then when you come inside, we have our first set of brand new indoors. So when you come into the FDMG school lobby, when you come into the FDMG school lobby, you still can't get to the students. We have to buzz you in. You still can't get to the students. We have to buzz you in, brothers and sisters. Once you get into the school, We have to buzz you into the school once you get into the lobby, brothers and sisters. So we are still working. We are still building. We still getting the school ready for our children, brothers and sisters. So I wanted to show you brand new sets of doors inside the school. We working, brothers and sisters. We are working. Okay. You get the inside version of the doors. Yes, indeed. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. We getting there, brothers and sisters. We getting there.